Hello, my name is Mordred Viking, and I'd like to welcome you to episode 3 of this Let's Play Hearts of Iron 4 Brexit Britain. In the previous episode, we started rejigging some of our defences, including moving out here into the Mediterranean, and some defences over here in Malta and Singapore. That's not Malta, that's Ceylon, also known as Sri Lanka. We've continued to build up our factories over here. Like most of Scotland is now actually fully developed for our current technology availability. We are running extremely low on manpower, so that is a bit of a concern, although at some point we will be able to get rid of this one, which will give us another 25% population, so that'll probably be another 100,000 probably. And what else are we doing? We've completely switched our naval plans. We are now going carriers rather than battleships. So our doctrine has gone from fleet and being over to base strike, and we're going to start working on some carrier aircraft to maintain that. And the reason for that is that we can do force projection. We can have aircraft anywhere in the world that we need them. So that should be quite nice. I think that's pretty much everything. Ah, yes, and of course the fascist movement continues to grow. We're at 36%. We will need 50%. We're basically just continuing to save up political power for the time that is done. Then we can switch it almost immediately to more manpower and not civilian economy, wartime economy, that's the one. We are also trying to work out the supply issues that we are currently facing here in the Mediterranean, which is basically just Malta. I think that's just because of the level of the port there. Is it because you're exercising too? You are not. You should be, but you are not. And what level port are you? You're only a level 2. So why is my supply issue such a problem over there? No, keep uniting. I don't see where it tells you what your supply thing is. I mean, we're going to be upgrading the naval base here fairly soon, which hopefully will improve matters there. We also need to start building some radar at some point. And there we go, we've started building the Malta things. We've got more concentrated industry now, which is good. Let's pause that for a second. We could rush to the 1939 technology on industry, seeing as we do have the 50% bonus. Don't really see any need to do that though. We are in 38, so we could start working on the new level of raid. No, we need research speed, obviously. And 38. Is that a new aircraft? No, 40. Fall of Nanjing. Crikey, that was quick. Looks like Japan is doing quite well. And there we go, research slot. Booyah! Marvellous. So we're going to start working on the Royal Ordnance Factories, which grants 2 additional military factories in West Midlands, Lancashire and Aberdeenshire, which is awesome. That will really quite dramatically increase our output. And then the next thing we can do is start looking at what we want to research. Now, we're saying that actually it's going to be our light cruisers that are the most powerful, not the heavy cruisers. So we want light cruisers, battleships and carriers, rather than destroyers. So our submarine detection is going to be somewhat less potent, but we're going to have carriers with aircraft, so we should actually be okay. I'm not going to bother with infantry divisions just yet. Don't think we need to bother with that either. I've never actually built signal or logistics companies before. Never really had a problem with those things. It is 38, so we could get the improved infantry stuff, including support weapons, which is extremely powerful. We're already getting the doctrine. You know what? No, we're going to start researching the light cruiser, and then we can start pumping those out. Speaking of, what are we producing? Battleship 1 and Destroyer 2s. Let's finish just that one and then we'll switch to something else. Like the Battleship 2 or the Carrier 2. Probably do need some more carriers. think all of our carriers are in the home fleet. Or are they in the med fleet? They might be in the med fleet. They're in the med fleet. So yeah, we will need some more aircraft for this too. Quite a few new aircraft, in fact. Okay, not a problem. Fascist assault divisions form. The political and martial have always been intertwined in fascism. In parallel with the growing political movement, fascist parties have begun to form paramilitary organizations to protect both internal and external threats, the internal threats being their political opponents. Although many people find this development worrying, the wave of militaristic furor has led to an increased amount of volunteers joining our armed forces. The political leaders of the movement have pointed out that their opponents have reason to be afraid. Having the army permeated on several levels by so explicitly political elements, the enemies of the United Kingdom and the enemies of fascism are beginning to look very much alike. +5 popularity for the fascists. We gain fascist assault divisions, which reduces our national unity, but increases the amount of population that we can recruit, and also the daily fascism support. I'm entirely willing to accept that, because Britain will be really hard to take anyway. So we are now up to 44%. But because our popularity keeps on going up, the speed of change drops, which is unfortunate. Ooh, we have 3 dockyards. That is nice. So, what do we want to build? Well, we're saying carriers, so let's start working on an Ark Royal. Off you go. Marvellous. And I forgot to turn off Google+. Of course I did. Let's turn you off. Shut up. And continue. Okay. Good. And now we've got some more manpower thanks to the fascist assault divisions. You're still having supply. Well, you probably haven't built the thing yet. No, you haven't. Okie dokie. Let's move you up 1. I mean, it's probably not a huge issue, but I just prefer to have these guys in supply because they're the most likely to come under assault. Anschluss of Austria. Interesting. Formation flying. Excellent. Nope, still can't do that. So we will start on dive bombing. And we have another research. What's the other research? It's been there a while. I have no idea. This. More carrier efficiency, more sortie efficiency, please. Marvellous. Meanwhile, 45%. 6% to go. And then things can really start to happen in earnest. You are now fully trained, so stop that. You were not training. You are still training. You are done. Stop that. You are not quite. In fact, I've just noticed that you lot are not infantry. Which did not, thankfully, change your experience, I don't think. Okay. You're okay. Alright, so all of our colonial armies are now at full fighting strength, and we have a pretty decent army here in Britain, including a bunch of untrained people I've just noticed, so finish them off. 3 dockyards, because we have just finished the battleship, which will allow us to build the battleship 2, which will be our first King George class. Now, do we want to build a variant of this? Probably not. We probably actually want to build the variant of this. We can only do 1 point. No, we'll save it. Go ahead and build the King George class. Off you go. And I want that in the med fleet. I want you also in the med fleet. Royal Ordnance Factories, marvellous. So this really boosts the amount of military factories that we have in action. We can now get the BSA company, which gives us infantry equipment production cost reduction, which is actually really quite nice. We could also do the general rearmament, which means consumer goods factories requirements are reduced. Well, we're not going to be able to get Tizard or Mord, which means we can't get the secret weapons, which is annoying because that 6 times 50% research bonus for electronics, rocketry, and nuclear is huge. We're not at war with Germany, so we can't get the cryptographic bomb. BSA company, so we can produce more of those small arms, and we have now got spare factories. Let's put 2 in there, 1 in there, and that's all of them. Because we are still exporting a bunch of our military weapons to British Raj, and yeah, they are building a lot more divisions now than they were, which means that they should be pretty well armed and helping us fight. The Indian population being rather larger than the British. Field hospital, excellent. We can't quite get the 39 technologies just yet. Military police, we don't need them yet, I don't think, so I think we will begin on the support weapons. We have 3 civilian factories, interesting. And supply issues are now resolved. Excellent! So I think we just keep on building these, quite frankly. Manguko has capitulated, okie dokie. How are we doing? 46%. Slowly, slowly. We need a lot more oil. In fact, I can probably buy that in. Do I need to? Oh, you know what else I should do, actually? Naval production should get the priority on resources, not land production. Alright, are you done training? Nope. Are you? Nope. Oh, you should be training. Are you done? Nope. Are you done? Nope. Why have you stopped? You shouldn't have stopped. Oh, these are the units I did change. They did lose experience, in fact. Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact. So Germany and the Soviets have their non-aggression pact. Okay. The other thing that I do need to do, in fact, while I'm thinking about it, is my infantry divisions need field hospitals. Do I want to attach support artillery? I mean, we could do recon company that would cost extra manpower. I could add support artillery, though that would mean that I then need to start building artillery, which isn't a huge problem. Gives them a bit more firepower. So let's reduce you to that, and then we'll add turret artillery, like so. Okay. In fact, let's bump you up to there. I need a lot more supply. So let's reduce you somewhat and increase you. France bans communism, which gives them more national unity, I believe. They're still at 30%, good grief. Germany's going to completely roll over them. If Germany ever chooses to go to war with them, of course, which they may not. Demand the Sudetenland. Yeah, we are definitely on the way to war. How's fascism doing? 48%, 3% to go. It's getting closer. And in fact, what I should really be doing in preparation for that is preparing my assault. So, what were we going to go after first? Was it Siam? So you have rubber, which I don't really need. No, I think it's going to be Iran. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab you. We're going to have you. All of you need to do training first. We'll finish your training. Oh, don't tell me that everyone needs training again now, because that would be really annoying. Yep, because I've added more elements to those units. Grr. Alright, train up. We're down to 7,000 manpower. Yikes. Okay, so this now requires less production costs for infantry equipment, which is huge. Alright, I think we need to start the general rearmament. Off we go. We have 8,000. Man, that's pathetic. Getting a lot of... Sorry, I'm hearing a lot of feedback in my microphone. I adjusted it slightly, so hopefully that will stop happening. Blowback, that's what I meant, not feedback. Still need more oil. What's that going to be slowing? Production of our carriers. Man, we produce 2 carriers a year? That's fantastic. Alright, everything else is under production. British Raj continues to increase the numbers of troops, and in fact when we go to war with Iran, a bunch of them will probably move over. Okay, the Munich Conference. German demands for Sudeten region in Czechoslovakia, where a significant number of ethnic Germans live, have come to a head. Hitler's positioned forces along the Czechoslovakian border in preparation for an attack. Talks are being held in Munich between Britain, France, Italy and Germany in the hopes of negotiating a peaceful end to the Sudeten crisis. What will British position be? Of course the Czechs are on their own, we don't care. It's Europe. German Reich has declared war on Czechoslovakia. Really? So they rejected, I guess. Oh, that's fascinating. Huh. And I guess so it begins. France hasn't jumped in, have they? No. Sometimes France and Czechs form a small entente, but they haven't done it in this one. So France is safe for the time being. There we go, Southampton class. That would be the new light cruiser. Excellent. So we could start building some of those. We probably should. So what is the next technology that we need? We probably should start improving our artillery, seeing as we're producing them anyway. Still 38. Speaking of building ships, I think what I want to do, slow you down slightly, then start building some of these light cruisers. So that we have some more defense. Let's build just the one of those. We'll drop you there. Okay. We'll finish you off. We'll do that. Yeah, I think that'll be fine. Good. How's the construction? We are getting to the stage where we may need to build some more. So we're going to go something like that for more civilian factories. And then after that, we'll probably start building dockyards and military factories, I think. Although we could just convert some. Czechoslovakia was annexed. That was extremely quick. Okay, we should have some more now. We're going to start on the naval rearmament so we can get some more free naval dockyards, which would be fantastic. And then what options do I have after that? Research bonus for destroyers. Yeah, I don't really use destroyers though. Oh, when I get cheaper destroyers? Oh, I get more research for carriers. Interesting. Yeah, so I think I'm going to go down here and then here. Eventually we'll go there, but not yet. We could issue gas masks, though we're not at war. Oh, and that's how you remove the war to end all wars, which is our manpower penalty. You know what? Issuing gas masks would be really handy. No, we want the rearmament first, so we can continue building our warships. Right, how's the training going? Training is done. Stop training. You guys. Stop. You. Keep going. You. Keep going. You. So what I'm looking at here is the experience bar here is the yellow thing. We want regular, which is the this icon. We can see those are still trained. So the maximum we can get through training is regular. So these guys are still busy, as are you, though not very much longer. And then the next thing I was going to do was start working out precisely what units I was going to send to invade Iran. I'm thinking something along these lines. And everything with a British region name I'll leave in Britain. So we are going to need a new Indian theatre, except of course it then cancels that. Damn it. Royal tanks. You three, you, and you. New general in India. Your job is to form a border here, with the ambition of grabbing that as quickly as possible. You will have a commander who shall be I don't know. Do we really only have the one? No, we don't. Who's this? This is Montgomery. Logistics wizard and combat with. You know what? We want Montgomery over there. Or except you're a field marshal, aren't you? Is that a waste? No, we'll send Montgomery over. There you go, Monty. Go and get some experience. And then we'll leave, I guess, a 24 guy in charge over here. I'll promote you to a field marshal just in case I need another one. And then Mr. Reconnaissance here. No. I'll also promote you to field marshal. Ooh, you would actually be quite good. Outer supply -50. So if you have supply issues, he's the one that you want in command. Which would be a very useful ability, actually. Proximor, a defensive commander. I mean, it doesn't really matter who I have in command, so we'll just have Auchinleck here doing that. And you guys are off. That's fine. How's the construction going? It's going. We're at 51%. We should have an election, shouldn't we? I thought. Floating airfield. And dive bombing. And computing. And support. Well, good grief, that was a lot of stuff all at once. Right, so mass strikes, so more carrier organization, and carrier overcrowding penalty is reduced, so you can squeeze more planes on a carrier, which is the main reason I went that group of development. Next up is better radar, encryption, decryption. We'll go for encryption. And Air Force. I think we will need to go for the Sea Gladiator. And we can start building those, and likewise the Hector. Unless, no, we're going to go with this. Get our infantry units up and running. Here we go. Fascists demand referendum. The rapidly growing British fascist movement has never claimed that they needed majority support before they seized power, counting on uniting the nation under their leadership once the rule is established. However, it seems that public support has grown rapidly. Many fascists are now calling Neville Chamberlain a hypocrite, claiming to represent the wishes of the people while turning a deaf ear to the masses who want to set the United Kingdom on a path to greatness. The call for a referendum has been dismissed as tyrannical attempts at disrupting the system by Conservative Party members so far, but at least it's a political measure. If we do not act now, the fascists may choose the violent struggle as a better path to power. If the people want it, we'll hold the referendum. British Union of Fascists becomes the ruling party and we lose a bit of national unity, or fascist revolutionaries, or we lose a bunch of political power. No, clearly we want the referendum, which changes us to a fascist nation. You can see our flag has changed here. Oswald Mosley is now in command. And our unity is down to 75%. However, we can now change our politics. So we can go to a war economy. So a civilian economy currently requires 30% of all of our civilian factories to be producing civilian goods rather than military stuff. And the construction speed of civilian and military factories is reduced by 30%, and it costs more to convert between factories. However, if we switch to a war economy, which we can do because we are fascist, we need only 15% as opposed to the 30% consumer goods factories, and it is now 20% faster to build military factories. And conversion is also much quicker. So we are going to switch to the war economy, which is going to mean that our production is really ramped up now. We can also change our recruitment laws. And I think what we're going to go for is extensive conscription, which means that we'll have a recruitable population of 5% instead of 1.5%. Training time will be slightly increased, but I don't think that's much of a problem. We could go to limited, which is a lesser step, and we don't have the training time problems. It's still almost doubling the amount of manpower that we will have. You know what? We'll go to limited. We can always step up after that. I mean, this is almost 300,000 more troops, which is excellent. And we can now start thinking in earnest about what we want to do with our other positions. So naval research time, deck size plus 25%, range plus 25%. So we probably do want the Pacific Fleet designer, so all of our carriers of that design will be bigger and stronger, as opposed to this guy who's basically saying the battleships are stronger. Industry, faster research, Bomber Harris, changes in doctrines, or we can go for the expert. So do we have any geniuses? Yes, we have a genius amphibious lander. Everyone else is an expert. Submarines, screens, naval strike, close air support, infantry expert. Oh, that's quite good. Chief of Air Force, Chief of Navy, Naval Aviation, that would be quite nice. Better air attacks from the carriers. We could also get our War Industrialist, which increases the speed of military factory and dockyard production, which I think is probably the one that we want. So we'll go for the War Industrialist, which increases the speed of dockyard and military factories. Good. We have no divisions in training. Yes, I know, that is fine. All of the you guys are on the move, and there we go. Canada has left the faction, Australia has left, South Africa has left, and New Zealand has left, which should mean that I can disband this faction. Boom, the Allies no longer exist. So now we can go over to India, we can go you, we can go create new faction, and we can create the new faction, and this faction is going to be the British Empire. The British Empire, because I think that actually matters. So we are now a member of the British Empire alongside the British Raj, and it's just us in it. Like, all of our other former allies have now left, so we will need to forcefully reincorporate them at some point down the line. But our first objective will be Iran here, because we want the oil. So we're going to start justifying a war goal on it. We'll do it just on the border region, which is Sistan here, although we will just take the whole lot. And off we go. And we will... Well, I did say that we have to puppet a country if we can, so we will puppet Iran, but it will mean that they are forced to trade with us, and we'll get oil from them. The one problem with that is we will then need to protect the convoys. So that is something we will need to look out for. Okay, that is Good. And once we have let a tick pass, the dawn of the British Empire. Even the British Empire, famed for its faith and strength of superiority of its people and nation, is not beyond forming alliances with those they respect. Oswald Mosley announced today that the final agreements have been made about the British Empire, a military coalition which purportedly room only for honourable nations destined for greatness. Whether this greatness is intended to come from building the ideal society within the borders of the respective nations, or by working together to expand beyond them, the world may not know until it's too late. Together, we will never be defeated. Don't know why I'm doing a Churchill impression there. It's Mosley. But anyway, we should now be on the path to actually start doing stuff. So in the next episode, we will begin doing that. So thank you very much for watching. I do hope you're enjoying this series. If you are, then please do hit that like button. If you haven't done so already, please do consider subscribing as well. It really does help channels grow, by the way, subscribing. So if you do have the opportunity to do so, then please do. It helps. Basically, when you get random videos appearing in your recommended videos list, that is very often done by the number of subscribers a channel has, so keep doing that. If you have any tips or advice for me as well, then please do let me know in the comment section below. It's always nice to hear from you guys. Let me know what you think of the new British Empire and your hopes and dreams for it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.